smoke coming down. RZ gets him up here on the gets himself up on the center, but has to drop down as he gets spotted by the recon bolt. Sushi Boys wrapping around the back. The Cyber Cage dropped down, but he cannot get the shots to fly through. GTN comes up with a kill. Will get traded in the end by Fox. Does himself get taken down by Sadak. Very bloody rounds here to start. Vikings yet to get this plant going. But they have the man advantage again, 3-2. Shots coming through, Cruz spotted, finished off, and that'll be the cleanup as FRZ finds 3 in the round.
Man, FRZ really having some great back-to-back rounds here for the Vikings, getting up on top of the pipes and doing some work from up there. Really kind of able to find ways around the toxic screen. He caused a lot of problems. Scary though. You get this opening one on the lurking Sutekas, but here comes FRZ, man. Looking fantastic from up top. Getting 2, nice headshot there at the end into screens. Very well done. Using that verticality, that's oh so important.
Off in time though. And yeah, GTN not willing to mess around with this. Wants to just pull back, not even gonna give him the opportunity to land that shot. And everybody from Vikings is going to start making their way over to the B side. They have this lockdown ready to go. GTN with the showstopper, they could just go for a huge entry onto the site.
Yeah, I like the re-rotate here by the Vikings. Don't mess with Patty Pan with a Marshall. He's going to have the best opportunity to potentially do some real damage to your team. Go to the weak side. Try to get something going over here. Setup comes down there. Is that toxic screen going to go up? Let's see if you can get the post plant set up nicely for the Vikings.
I thought maybe they're going to hold on to this, but now that they know that the members of x10 are going to be rotating over, they will commit the lockdown to this take. Spike now starting to get inched forward. It's getting planted. This lockdown going to expire. Trailblazer forward to scout. Spike's planted. Tailwind going to have to be burnt by Patties. He tries to get himself over to Snowman, but Sasi lines up the headshot. Fox managing to find one, taking out the enemy Killjoy. Sitting in the corner, FRZ trying to spray his way to success. Will find Sushi Boys, but Fox trades him back with the Sheriff. 3v3 now, but outgunned. RX10 need to click some heads, but they just can't quite get it done. Sasi finds 3, and that is going to be a very nice stretch coming through for Vikings. Up 4 rounds with just 3 more to go in the half.
Yeah, you can see that they even went for a few cheeky things there for X10. The Marshall into the hands of Patty Pen, the Stinger even in the hands of Cruz, but he just wasn't really able to get much done with it. Never able to find a good position for. For it with these long sight lines you have over here on B. FRZ able to get 1 before he's taken down. Saucy having some big shots in this round, getting the triple kill. Coming through huge. Very nicely done by the Vikings here, stringing together quite a few good rounds.
Yeah.
X10 really needs to get it done on this assault rifle round.
I should clarify, 4 more rounds to go. This is round 9. Sometimes.
Ada nge-lag anjing dapat.
My brain doesn't do math so good. So let's see what they can get done. I mean, X10, if they could, pick up 3 of these, it would be huge. Patty playing forward and aggressively managed to find 1, but he's not ready for FRZ to be waiting on top there at the pipes. Strikes him down, catching him from behind, but Cruz with that side ankle manages to catch FRZ as he tries to inch up just on the side of the site. GTN leaping over that Viper's bite, keeps himself
Tim Brazil lawan Thailand.
Any additional damage. Now they have to reroute, they have to rethink this.
We're going to get a little information, our X10 off the Trailblazer and the guiding lights that nobody's trying to push ace. You can see after that guiding light came down, the call is starting to rotate back towards B. Nicely done here by X10. Let's see if Sutekas can find anybody coming through the kitchen there. Sushi Boys making his way just by the bomb site proper. Sutekas fully in the kitchen. Now, we're ready. Scary is going to try to come through. Let's see if he can get it done this time. Oh.
Jump across. Risky maneuver, but himself that much more difficult to hit. Cruz in the back over at Snowman. Does manage to find GT, and now Sasi going to be going down. Sutekas is up on top of the site. Eliminates 1, drops down, has to recover the spike. Has it in hand now. Fakes the plant. Here's them rushing. Manages to find 1. Can he actually clutch this out? 47 HP in a dream.
You never saw him.
Start pushing forward. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Fox, he just inches up. Doesn't give him the opportunity to hear his location. Shuts him down. It's going to be another round on the board here for X10, but they need to get some wind in their sails. They need to string a couple additional ones together if they want to make this a viable half. 9-3, not going to be good enough for them as they get ready to go on the attack.
Yeah, man, it was a really nice attempt here by Sutekas. This is a great shot, but then I don't think he ever saw Fox. And you're right, exactly correct, man. Fox doing a great job hiding his footsteps, catches him out in the open. I mean, you're pretty exposed from that plant spot. The pressure was coming for Sutekas. Good attempt, but just not quite enough in the end. So a very important win there for X10, able to stabilize themselves. But
terlalu maju sih itu.
Yeah.
Si Patipen terlalu maju
Consistently
sih.
rushing forward here over towards the entry at A and just gets punished yet again. Seekers used by Cruz trying to spot them out, but they know there's going to be a full commit here onto the A side after that pick. Still a very deep lurk happening from Sutekas as he sits back over in the spawn. He's waiting to see if anybody's going to come from that flank position that has been played so regularly from the side of X10, but they might not even need it. Look at the cleanup that's happening here on the site. The spike did not get planted. They get the finishing blows, and now there's a man advantage for the side of X10.
Well, that shutdown of GTN is huge. That opens up so much space. It's kind of a blind push through the toxic screen there. And it gets shut down by Cruz. Excellent pull on that. Although FRZ gonna get scary now. Opportunity, Blade Storm online.
Evens it up. Drifting across, Sutekas starts pushing forward. Doesn't want to enter into that smoke. Fully anticipates that there's gonna be somebody waiting there. For Snipe, not gonna connect. Fox pulls back, goes down the ramp, keeping his head out of sight. Spike getting planted. Sushi Boy's on the creep, comes charging in, manages to find the kill. And now it's FRZ on his lonesome. His utility is gone. It's all in the Blade Storm. It's all in the aim, and he just does not have it this time. Sushi Boys cleans up three with the Spectre, and X10, that's the third time that they've won 2 rounds back-to-back. They're keeping it closer.
I mean, you're not fully expecting an opponent to be able to shoot you out of the air when you come blast packing in, but Cruz is ready for it. Great job on his part. The crossfire here for Sushi Boys and Scary as well. Just mowing them apart as they try to come through the toxic screen, and FRZ doing everything he can, but again, it's Sutekas on the plant. This time he's at least able to get it down. FRZ never really able to find much success with that Blade Storm. Looking a little sloppy here.
Yeah. Well, 2 rounds in a row now. Let's see if they can make it 3. Economically.
Patty pan on the judge.
Oh, well, I mean, that suits his aggressive style.
Yeah.
True.
It seems like right as we hit the end of the countdown, though, we will have a brief little pause. So hopefully we can get this squared away quickly to get back into the action, because we know these teams like to push the pace. They don't want to be slowed down.
Ini tactical pause-nya di
So,
pas
as soon as we
01
get word
dong.
as far as what's going on, we'll keep you guys informed and look to get back into the action.
Yeah, I was going to say, it felt a little weird at the beginning of this one. Achilleos said it was kind of slow. I wasn't expecting that.
That changed
pace
real.
is real. Yeah, that changed real fast, my friend. Patipon just not able to come online for X10, and yet they're still doing really well. So I got to say, that's a really good sign for them, man. He's only 5-9-2 so far, but the rest of the team is coming up big. I mean, 9-9 for Scary. He's having a decent round here. 8-6 for Fox, really carrying the team on that Sova. So right now, you got to feel pretty good for X10, even with their best player struggling.
Yeah, I mean, they need to, Vikings need to try to stop any kind of run back from coming through here for X10, because if they can even this up, make it, 5 rounds, 6 rounds especially on the defender side, that's going to bode very well for them. Because, I mean, we're seeing how Patty likes to play on the defense. We can expect that it's going to be very similar for him. When he moves over onto the attack, it's going to be that much more aggression from him going for.
Ini X10
He's
X1
just
siapa?
dry
Six
peeks
man-nya.
out.
Right,
So-
and I kind of wonder if the move to the judge here, if he does stick with it, if that was just kind of try to get himself a little fired up, find a couple easy kills, catching members of Vikings off guard or getting in their faces, and then seeing if he could kind of carry that momentum with him.
Yeah. Well, ideally, we'll be getting back into this pretty soon here, guys. See the players just waiting with anticipation, keeping their hands on the mouse and keyboards. Mice and keyboards, I should say. Seems like we should be squared away.
Oh.
I think
Go ahead and restart the timer, and there we go.
Yeah, one thing that has me concerned here, Achilleos, is that the Vikings are having a tough time, trying to come up over the tubes, not able to do it as Patipon. He does still have that judge.
Yeah, didn't manage to find much of anything. I believe he threw out the right click for the Blade Storm as well. Missed the audio cue that he had popped it, so trying to get that kill doesn't manage to find it. But I mean, FRZ is down to 1 HP. That's about as good as dead as you can get. Or as close to. So still a significant amount of damage pushed into the enemies here. Already setting up quite nicely as the Viper's Pit is used over on the A site just to try and dissuade them from pushing in.
Yeah, I think kind of learning their lesson from the last time they tried that didn't go so well. And that was the one thing I was going to kind of point out for Vikings is the one thing they seem to be struggling with a bit is the Viper utility, of course. So let's see if this time they can get around it. But she's up top waiting. A double push going to come through here.
Yep, it's a different angle. Managed to find the one. Doesn't quite spot the other. Hawk does make his way through, but he doesn't check the corner. Cruzy is already and waiting. They fall right into the Spider's trap. And cleanup will be there overall. Saucy trading one back, dropping it down that toxin screen, but Cruz gets the final blow. And just like that, we are one round separated between X10 and Vikings. Last round in the half. Let's see if we're going to flip sides 6-6, completely tied up.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you're pushing through the Viper's pit. It's, of course, hard to see anything, and the opponents have a big-time advantage on you. And this time, like you mentioned, X10 is in different spots, so it's hard to get a read on where they're even going to be waiting for you. And this is one of the things in my notes coming into this that I really liked about X10 is they are always changing it up. They're trying different stuff. Even when things are going well, they will give you different looks, and it's one of the things that has made them successful in their region.
I mean, one of the things that you have to do is you have to try to send that drone forward, try to get a spot out, clear those angles that are being played. We just don't see that happen. They get rightfully punished for it.
It's all the utility they have to check on that Viper pit. That's it. Maybe you can throw a turret in it, I guess. That's really about it.
Cam, you can see in the pip there, top right of the screen, set up on the corner. It's the spot seeing them advancing forward. Hunter's Fury being used. Saucy looking to open things. Gets a single tag onto Fox. Now we will see that lockdown used. Hunter's Fury obviously not available here for Fox to respond in kind, so they cannot destroy this. TP around the back from Sutekas. Going on a deep little lurk, moving out of A over towards screens. Now into mid. The rest of the team, the rest of the team has moved over now. He is just going to be waiting for anybody pushing in from mid. Everybody, however, is rotating through the back over towards the spawn, so he's still going to be in a fairly precarious spot if he decides to show his location. The Vikings, they have control of the site for now. Shots flying through. Sutekas will be eliminated. Patty finding Saucy, gets traded back, but just like that, they find GTN. It's going to be a huge advantage now here for the side of X10 as they look to tie this up 6-6. Sadhawk, the last one alive. All of his utility has been burned. The Nanoswarm will find one. He follows up for a second on the Scary. Now it comes down to a 1v1. Him versus Sushi Boys. Pushes a little bit of damage out. Fake tap on the spike. Doesn't try to hold this one for half. And now Sushi is in a precarious spot. Goes to the tap yet again. And Sonic, he can just run this clock down. There's not much that Sushi Boys can do. He has to try to stick for it, but Sonic will clutch it out in the end. Gonna get 7-5 for Vikings in the first half.
Oh man, Sonic coming through big for his team. The shot caller for the Vikings, holding it down. And I thought, first of all, I thought this round looked great for the Vikings. You get Sutekas deep in A. They know there's nothing going on. He has a nice TP over into mid to give a good crossfire on the retake attempt. But it just all kind of falls apart. X10 isn't really fooled by it. They do a good job taking care of FRZ when he goes up in the nest to try to set up kind of a vertical crossfire. This is just a fantastic last round there to really give Vikings a little bit of confidence and momentum into their defender side.
Yeah, it's just fantastically done. I mean, whenever you can create those catch-22 situations for the defender, it's just wonderful to see. It's beautifully done. But now we go into the second half, not wasting any time. Pistols drawn out. A couple of frenzies here for the defenders. One frenzy for Patty. Everybody else going to be rocking Ghosts, no armor. Inching forward here onto the A site for the moment. Asasi gets the drone up top. We'll lose that out. Got the dart in. But everybody now starting to pull away from A. Cyber Cage turned down in mid. That gets spotted. So they're very privy to this rotation, especially with FRZ waiting above. Has not been spotted whatsoever. This could be a major surprise for them. A rude awakening perhaps as he does drop down. Manages to find Patty. Now Sushi Boy's going to be gone as well. Throws down some of these cloud bursts to keep himself covered. Weaving in and out of the smoke. Sprays away. Manages to find three, but has to go for the reload. Can't quite get that fourth, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the Vikings are there to clean it up. 3 members left standing. Another pistol round going to the Vikings.
Yeah, when you get on top of that crane, it can cause a lot of problems, especially the other team gets way ahead of you and they have no idea. They don't check it. Very nicely done here by FRZ. The Sutekas doing a good job holding the line up on the front, kind of distracting a lot of X10. They're kind of tunneled in towards him. Then FRZ finds the perfect moment to strike. Saucy coming in to clean it all up, but very nicely done. I gotta give Vikings a lot of credit here, coming back after a couple rough rounds against X10, really able to right the ship.
Yeah. Do see two sheriffs now out from X10, Patty and Scary. Looking
Guardian
to
here.
Heads to try to turn this around. Yeah, I have been seeing a couple Guardians. We had one use of it yesterday on Icebox, in fact.
So a lot of good sight lines that you can utilize on it, either from, like you're seeing there, over on Belt or the back of B. Oh, nice job by FRZ with that ghost.
Yeah, nice.
And
Yeah,
he's going to regress into the Cloudburst. Throws in the second one, does decide to pull back. Saucy spotting one, takes a couple shots at that Frenzy. It's a couple of hits in, but Scary in the meantime. Gets the elimination onto GTN. Take us waiting here. In tube, has the support from Sadak up mid. They get that finish. It's going to be a 3v4. Outgunned right now. HP bars low on everybody other than Sushi Boys. Which is a great name, by the way.
It is a great name. I like a lot of the names on X10. Cruz, Scary, Fox. It's good, man. Patty Pond. But it has a ring to it, you know. Oh, Sushi's not like this.
Wow.
Tries to come around the corner, dry, saucy.
Sabar nih.
Just gonna mow him down with the Spectre.
It's nothing worse than dry sushi.
One enemy remaining.
Patty Pan now eliminated, and this is going to be around in the books
yeah.
as Saucy cleans up 3. Vikings starting to stretch a very scary lead, but with rifles getting ready to come in the hands here of X10, they absolutely need to turn this around right now. They need to get some momentum going.
Yeah, the last time, though, we saw X10 on a kind of
think
really
biasa sih.
important must-win rifle round. They were able to get it done, so maybe this go-around they can. A little bit more difficult now for them without that Viper to really lock down the A side. Of course, they're on the attacker side. And I got to give, again, I want to go back to Sadak real quick. His utilization of his nano swarms with Killjoy is a really important factor in kind of what's making a difference right now on this map. As we look to take a tactical timeout here for X10. I think a perfect time to be taking this timeout. So it is an interesting difference here in the Sentinels, right? You've got Cypher and Killjoy. The thing I like about what I usually see out of the Cypher from X10 was that they would put the trap wires in tubes in really narrow spots around B, but I haven't really been seeing them when they were on the defensive side get the opportunity to do that. Now they're on the offensive side where, you know, he's a little less useful compared to Killjoy.
Yeah. Well, technical timeout, try to steady the ship here. Next 10, talk some sense to the players. And maybe tell
time.
Calm down just a little bit. Roll it back 20, 15%. Let's keep it calm.
Oh, ini
Focus up and get back into the game. Try to close this out. Because, I mean, you have to remember, this is X10's map pick. They brought us here to Icebox to try to close this out. They do have Ascent waiting for them around the corner no matter what, which they have an incredible win rate on. 19-1 overall as their all-time win rate, 15-1 in 2021. So they've only ever lost in it one time. So, they can still look forward to that, but they would love to get this win on Icebox. That would instill so much more confidence in them as to get ready to go into that dominant map.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ascent was the map where we saw Vikings struggle against Sharks. That was the one they lost in that finals in Brazil. So, it could be, even though Icebox maybe not going the way they want, I think Ascent still has a lot of potential for X10. They're really coming out here and doing a pretty good job. But again, Patipon, we need to see more out of him. He still has not really come online for X10.
Nanoswarm off the rip, just trying to stave off any potential rush coming through green.
Jetnya mana
There's a smattering of damage in the box, but otherwise he's going to be just fine. Not even really worth Cruz popping that healing totem to try to top him back up.
You can see they're going to send the drone out, see if they can get any information on what's going on over on A, but it's going to get shot down there pretty quickly. Does get the dart in there. Have to pull that out. Saucy in return, going to send his out and see a lot of members of X10.
Ooh. Oh, FRZ trying to get that tracking shots, unable to find it. They push forward, and Patty, oh man, he will come up with 2 swift kills. GTN and FRZ both going to be eliminated. Shock dart from Saucy does manage to find Cruz, but the side is broken over the plane, getting ready to come in. Patty playing up top here around the back of the side, finds a third, can't quite make it to the 4th. So Pegas will outtrade him with the Spectre at range. Now they'll just pull back away from this spike. Still have to play carefully though. Sonic has this Guardian, can absolutely trade them at range.
Yeah, you can give a little bit of post-plant cover onto it. Stakus gonna throw down his smoke, see if he can get something going here. He's gonna be checking the corners, gonna throw the Paranoia, tapping. He's gonna pull right off, up over his sock, but the Guardian gets one, but gets taken down. Here comes Stakus, gets Fox, looking for the finish.
But now this all comes down to that catch-22 situation here that Scary is going to try to create. He hears him on the spike. Can he interrupt him? Pushes out, will manage to strike him down. X10, they finally put another round here on the board. With a decent little streak starting to happen there for the Vikings, but they finally make it happen.
It's a great call here by X10. Once they took down Saucy's drone, they just pushed. They just hit this hard and fast. Took the Vikings to town. I mean, what a push by Pottypon. That's what you're looking for out of your entry fragger. The triple kill here to have a huge impact in this and really put X10 back in this game.
Yeah, and Pottypon starting to come online is a very dangerous prospect. So if he can continue to have impact like that in these rounds, it's going to get rougher for the side of Vikings. Seems like we will have another quick little pause, however, as the clock stopped up at 9. But it's a good momentum break here for X10. Stop Vikings from cresting that double-digit round count. Try to keep it as close as humanly possible. Look to run this back. It's still a long road ahead of them, but they've shown that they have the firepower. They do have some of these set plays that work great. They've got explosive entry onto the sites. It's just with some irregularities. They need the consistency to really make it happen.
I feel like we're seeing a bit of inconsistency from both teams here from time to time, but really X10, you know, if the good news for them is some
Sabar guys, ada yang salah kan. Kita kenapa sih?
Their other players are stepping up where Pottypon isn't. Both Jets have the Blade Storms online. I thought that was going to be kind of interesting. Looks like we have another technical pause here.
Kosong-kosong. Oh ya, masih kosong-kosong ya.
With these.
Oh yeah, you know, like I said, I'm very cursed when it comes down to pauses, so feel free to blame me for everything that happened yesterday and everything that we're seeing so far today. It's just something that's followed me throughout.
Ini periksa apa ya? Ngelek lagi anjing.
Out my career ever since I started casting out here in Korea.
I do blame you. Yeah, I'm fully just pointing all my fingers at you. Yeah,
I can take the blame. You know, I'm like Batman at the end of the Dark Knight, where like, yeah, blame me for killing Harvey Dent. I can take it. It's fine.
I'll
put up with the blame.
Yeah, I'm just Batman. That's okay. Don't worry, guys. Wow. Well, I gotta say, though, going back to the game here, man, this has actually been really good. I think what we expected, fast, furious, bloody, you know, just pushing the tempo are both teams especially on their attacker side, just, you know, when they make a decision, they go for it oftentimes, whether it be, especially on A, it seems like they're just very much like, okay, wait, now everybody hit it at the same time, whether that being, you know, GTN using the raised blast packs to come in or just the Jets making their move. I'm still a little curious about this lack of Viper for the Vikings and how this is going to continue to affect them, because you can see with X10 that caused a lot of issues for the Vikings on their attacker side, whether it be with the Viper's pit or the toxic screens, you know, finding ways to deal with that. They did a decent job of it once, kind of getting above the toxic screens,
ada yang gini
those Viper pits in particular were really, really troublesome.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's something that's become just so very prevalent in just about every region. You know, we've started seeing a lot of Viper as well in Korea prior to this event, especially on Icebox. There's so many great set plays. Just locking down the entirety of A or B is phenomenal. We saw, I forget who exactly had pulled it off, but a wonderful Viper's pit over on the B side on Icebox that had locked off the kitchen as well as the site. So there's a lot of creative placement that you can, you know, utilize her kit at to just completely shut down sightlines for the opponents. And seeing teams not really want to start integrating that into their strategies, it can become more worrisome the deeper you go in this tournament, because you know, you're going to have to dig deep. You're going to have more than what we've already seen from you if you want to find success. Running the same old stuff is not going to work. Vision Strikers have already proven that as they try to go back to their first strike compositions, and they weren't able to pilot those to success versus some of the newer stuff that teams were showing. So hopefully Vikings for now are just feeling comfortable and say, you know what, we don't need to show what we're using our Viper for, where we're using our setups. We want to hold that for later on. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, this one, when I thought about this matchup, the biggest issue that I saw coming into this for X10 was going to be their gunplay, and that's kind of feeling like, you know, they are a little bit lacking compared to the Vikings. That's really where the Vikings are excelling right now. Is they're just mechanically better. You know, X10 is doing their best. They're throwing everything they've got at the Vikings, but the Vikings are an extremely talented team when it comes to their fragging ability.
Absolutely. Well, I, for one, you know, obviously we still have the rest of this map to be played, but I for one, am very excited to see what's going to happen on Ascent, just given, you know, the history for X10 on that map. Vikings looking to take us there. I'm really curious as to what they have prepared for us there, so maybe we'll get to see something a little bit different from them on that map. But for now, it's fairly stock standard. But
yeah, Ascent I think is. Yeah, Ascent is a real toss-up for me, Achilleos. Like, you know, both teams have been very good, but, you know, there were some weaknesses that were shown by the Sharks for the Vikings on Ascent. So, I don't know. I'm really excited about that when we get to it. Of course, we aren't quite there yet. We saw a little bit of magic here, but no. Oh, okay. What is this?
He's revealing how the trick is done.
No.
The magic circle is going to kick him out. He's going to be banned. Oh boy.
Look, it's gone. Yeah, he's dropping
completely exiled now.
Bangsat yang lucu anjing.
They're illusions, Michael.
They're illusions.
But I
can't finish that quote.
But this is probably the first exposure for a lot of people when it comes down to Padipan. This kid is just, he's off the rails. He's exactly like this in person. He doesn't just play it up for the camera. I had the pleasure of meeting him numerous times over in the Overwatch scene when he was competing on like Team Thailand and on Talon out here in Korea for the Gauntlet in 2019. And he is always energetic. He's always looking to make you laugh and put a smile on your face. He's just an awesome dude, and I'm happy to see him finding success here in Valorant with X10 being the top of their region. And you know, maybe they can make a pretty good run here at Reykjavik. Would be a really good boon for the entire Thai scene if they could do that.
Yeah, really. I mean, after what we saw from Crazy Raccoon, I think the gloves are off. I think that, you know, showed a lot of the quote-unquote lesser regions that, you know, you could come in here and you could compete with the, you know, with the top teams in the top region. So I think that confidence has to have some of these other teams scared, like the Vikings right now. You know, the X10 is giving them all they can handle on Icebox, and we'll see how this one comes out after the tech pause. But yeah, I mean, you can see that with Padipan with that, you know, with that entrance he had. He's got a lot of flavor.
Oh yeah, he likes to spice it up a little bit from time to time. So,
packagingnya nggak seperti kayak kemarin.
No, I appreciate
the magic circle is going to kick him out. He's going to be banned.
In general, like in my experience with Thai players at other events, is that they're dropping them. They're very, very, you know, they're very energetic. They have a lot of personality.
They do. I mean, and it's not often that they get, you know, put in a spot like this. So, you know, coming over to, you know, being able to compete at the first international event here is just absolutely wonderful for them in the region. So I imagine that there's an immense amount of excitement that really just comes with that. So that's probably why we're seeing them being so, you know, exuberant on the stage and just showing off their personalities even more so. So it's been a very solid beginning here, but hopefully we can get back in. Oh, hello.
Hi. How are you?
I wasn't fully prepared for that, but it's okay.
Good to see you.
We're on camera. I know. We weren't on camera before. I was going to say, like, are we just not going to make it? Like, I got makeup on. I got spruced up. You know, but it's fine. We can finally say hello face-to-face, sort of, to the audience.
And I can prove that I am, in fact, bald. It's
true.
As I mentioned.
It's true. You weren't just touting that. You weren't just making that up to try to fit in with the cool crowd. So you and Tom over there and Sassy rocking it. I know that I think at a glance, the chat has just been going off about Sassy's baldness this entire time. So
what is it about us
go.
and bald people? I don't understand, man.
I almost just knocked it from my backdrop.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, well.
I think actually we need to toss it to desk here, my friend. Looks like
Yeah, so it seems like we're gonna go to a quick little break while we get things taken care of. The analyst desk will come and give their thoughts on the start of this Icebox map, and then we'll come back to bring you the rest of the action when it's all ready.
All right, well, thank you so much, fellas. Always a pleasure to hear you guys, cast. Also, fun fact, Achilles compared himself to Batman. That was just the thing he decided to do casually. We'll just go ahead and roll with it. Anyway, folks, Golden Boy here, back again with Potter, Doug, and Tombiz. As we can talk about that first half and a little bit of what we got into that game. And just before we do so, just to let everyone know, a little bit of a longer technical pause. The reason why I'm standing here in my lair with all these LED screens right now. So we will be here for right now. And then once the game's ready to go, I'll send it right back over to the casters and we'll get this bad boy rolling. That said, let's go ahead and talk about what ended up occurring in that game. And you know what, Tom, I'll go ahead and start with you. At the beginning of the game, I believe it was on round 3, I said, X10 is actually playing a lot better than I thought. You then proceeded to tell me, Golden Boy, it's just round 3. Please stop. But I still own my words because X10 is playing a lot better than we thought. So, suck on that, Tom. Your thoughts.
X10 sih jago sih anjing.
I think Tom might be muted in Discord or in vMix, by the way. Make sure, do it. If he does it, he has to give me. He has to give 5 gifted subs. If that's the case, we'll go ahead and get to Tom in a moment. Potter, let me just go to you. Let's get some reflections on this team, on X10's performance in that half. Actually, let's just talk about the setups there, because there were a lot of A-hits that were happening from Vikings, and you can start to see that X10, they were prepared for it more often than not.
X10 jago nyet.
They were. You're absolutely right because multiple times we saw
X10 bisa menang ini harusnya Indonesia bisa menang sih. Soalnya X10 sama Indonesia nggak beda jauh sih aimnya.
Vikings, they
cuman kalah strategi aja.
They were patient towards that 410 area, just waiting for these Vikings X10 members to come sniffing, come try to retake, come try to find a rotation. They punished them. They were able to bounce back. But yeah, multiple times X10 were finding themselves in those man advantage scenarios.
Yeah, that's right. It just kept happening, and obviously more to break down as well. And Tom, I don't know if you got me yet. I can see you in the back of where I am, but just say something, say a nice word, say how much you love North American Valorant. He can't right now, but he said he's a huge fan of Sentinel. Literally a Shazam stan. Doug, now X10, I feel like one of the things that has been pushing them to this point, and we have to address it, it's Patapan. The kid is disgusting. He is pulling off some nasty plays.
He really has been. I think the fun thing about him, and we highlighted this at the beginning, GB, they're just playing loose. Right, like they're playing is almost as if though they have nothing to lose, and that's a very.
Mereka ngepick pulang. Serius?
Dangerous team to play against when you're able to play with a little bit of that devil may care type attitude. Let's just kind of play things out and see kind of how they pan out, and so. X10 are leaning into that pretty well. You saw Patafan had a couple of really gross moments kind of playing around that style, but I think one of the other things that's been really interesting to me so far, at least in the first half, is some of the decisions that specifically around Viper's Pits, right? So there were 2 times that the Viper's Pit was used right and they pushed into
Highland
it
Pride,
both times
Highland Pride.
Intentionally, right? Like the second round,
Highland
it was a
Pride.
bit more delayed. They defaulted a bit towards B, and then they pulled back, but the outcome was the same. So we're actually seeing, in my opinion, we're seeing some decisions kind of leave you scratching your head a little bit and kind of thinking about what the plan is going into this. So while X10 have impressed, Patapan has impressed. He looks really
Oh iya,
good against
Thailand Pride ya. Soalnya ini kan sama
on
ini
doing
ya,
it. You can
Sea ya.
tell even with the magic tricks, right?
Masih
Like
masuk
you're
Sea
never
dong
supposed to
harusnya
show
Thailand,
how those
anjing.
magic trick works, but he's doing it. For
Tapi
Vikings,
Thailand main kuat sih anjing. Kalau ini bisa
just
menang,
making
Indonesia
a
harus
couple
bisa.
down to the fact that they're playing on land.
Bangsat nih. Sinyal sudah mulai ngentot sih.
We've discussed leading
True,
into the
true.
show that can make a pretty notable impact on personality and on kind of stage.
Yeah, it's true. And Potter, I mean, Vikings have their identity so far has been built around a lot of A hits.
Wah, ngentot.
It's worked out for
Sinyal
them,
udah mulai
obviously,
nggak
it's
jelas ya,
reflected on
anjing.
the scoreboard, even with some adjustments from X10. But every time X10, you know, they kind of squandered it. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. And, you know, I actually have a round in particular in mind. I wanted to kind of break down and walk you guys through. It's round 7.
Yeah.
And in this round, as you say,
Ini kenapa ini tactical pause-nya?
attacking towards that A. But this
Kan ulang dari awal
you
yang
see
pertama.
Omen here so forward in his position, fighting that ground, but he gets picked off. And this is
Oh,
X10
enggak.
once again, man up. But look at this. And he comes out trying to sniff for more info, which is
Iya, iya.
Think so? Yeah, you are. I hear you now. Oh,
Hey,
man.
you're back.
Oh, I missed you so much, buddy.
I've actually been told. I've been told that Golden Boy actually has a button so that when he likes to throw shade at someone, he presses that button and they're
Sure.
actually not allowed to respond.
Yeah, it comes
For
with a
anybody
lot of
wondering
years.
any tech issues, they're all Golden Boy's fault.
Yes, chat, entirely my fault. I'm the reason why the game doesn't start. I just wanted to
Mabet
get,
mulai
I wanted to
nyangkut.
get more screen time. Honestly, you know that's really what it boils down to. I feel like Valorant doesn't have enough Golden Boy, despite what many on the internet might think. Doug, I know you had something you wanted to add to Potter's point there regarding how X10 have been playing after they have those small advantages at the early rounds.
Yeah, I think GB, it was actually you that mentioned something that I was kind of keying in on that I think is brilliant, and it's all of the
Shootingnya
rounds
tuh
that we saw in
5-6
the first half where
bangsat.
X10 did have a numbers advantage. They were meaningless.
Iya,
Right, in
udah.
a large sense,
itu
they were
ping.
meaningless because they're
Anjing
getting
main
these
ping di
one-on-one
situ.
picks. But much like we saw in round 7, the round that Potter was breaking down, it was on the opposite side of the map. Omen was just there to grab intel, right? Like there was never an intentional hit that was going to go that way. But and that kill, they get the kill, great. They have the numbers advantage. Omen was just there to grab intel, right? Like, there was never an intentional hit that was gonna go that as Potter mentioned, there was a delay on B. Meanwhile, the rest of the hit was happening on A. So
Yeah.
I think the impressive thing for X10 is they've made some pretty key adjustments in the latter half of the first half, so the second quarter, I guess, of that half that started really having impact with some of those early picks. But I think by and large, early on, yeah, they were getting numbers advantages, but they were entirely insignificant.
Yeah, it's always important to identify when, you know, obviously a kill's a kill, right? It leads to an ultimate, it gives you
Rounds that we saw
something
in the
that you
first
can
half
work
where
with, some
X10 did have a
semblance
numbers
of
advantage,
information. But
they
when
were-
you see
they
that
were
the
meaningless.
rotations to sites
Right,
are
and-
slower, you know, the adjustments aren't
because they're
being
getting
made in the
these
mid
one-on-one
round,
picks, but
that
much like
certainly leads to what Potter, what you were referring to. But Tom,
Lama
to
bet
bring you in
anjing
here,
turnamen.
something that I have been appreciating from Vikings, though, is despite what we're seeing the change-ups on X10 side, Vikings have actually, you know, done the
Lama
same
bet
thing.
anjing.
There's a term in a fighting game community I love. It's called downloading. When you know exactly what your opponent is going to do after a few rounds. You almost kind of like condition them. You know exactly their approach. And there were a few times, Tom, that Vikings knew exactly how X10 wanted to play the round, and they started to make those change-ups rather than just living their life at the A site.
Diulang dari 0-0 gitu anjing.
Yeah, I think it was noted quite early on that a lot of the X10 plays on the defense were very much gambles. Like we were watching how heavily they were
ini pakai
making
sniper tadi
these
ya.
big rotations to almost just try and stack up that site. Because I was sort of saying to you guys, I have not really seen too many teams be able to effectively hold that site. I think it's a really difficult thing to do. So what X10 have decided is, okay, we'll take a risk. We'll move players over very, very quickly to try and stack up as many as we can, get that extra utility, get that extra firepower.
Yeah.
So that's where Vikings, after a few rounds, started to go, you know what? Let's play with this a little. Let's try and fake into the B side. Let's throw some elaborate pushes in that way. Let's even use the from the shadows to teleport all the way back over to
bet
A and
ama
take some really
anjing.
deep control, and then start to use that to an advantage. What I will say that also impressed me about X10 though is the retakes. at times were actually pretty good. Like we even saw, unfortunately, it ended with a Vikings clutch, but we saw them in a 5v5 retake, bring it all the way down to a 3v1, and then Sadaki kind of wrecked him all and then jumped and played.
Really, I was Sushi Boys, right?
Other than that, though, it was really good.
Yeah, I think that was that 1v1 between Sadak and Sushi Boys. That was a heartbreaker. Only to then turn around with the pistol. Oh my God, you love to see it. Do want to give an update though on everyone maybe tuning in, trying to figure out what's going on here. Welcome to VCT Masters 2. We're back with the analysts here in the studio in Los Angeles. But Vikings have encountered an issue with the client, and the on-site production team is investigating the solution right now. So we'll hopefully have more updates for you all once that comes. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you guys stick around here. And we hope you're having a good time watching some Valorant with some of the best teams from around the world, just like we are as well. And I think I had a moment to talk about this with the crew from yesterday.
Wow,
about the experience of being able to finally see this, Potter. I mean, you've competed on many a stage, but it's a wonderful experience to be able to see a team from Brazil taking on a team from Thailand. It's like an experience unlike anything else in esports, and it's finally here in Valorant. What are like some of the things that you've been looking forward to seeing besides the NAEU stuff when it comes to VCT Masters 2 and what we've gotten so far?
It's gotta be exactly what you mentioned. Brazil versus Thailand, two countries on opposite sides of the world. And that's one of the greatest things about esports, in my experience, has been just meeting different people from all walks of life and being able to see them compete and try to best each other, try to out clever each other, try to just be better than each other. It's incredible to see, and I like to see these personalities coming out. We saw Fatapan, even though he's not quite as successful pushing out at A, I like the fact that he's going in and he's not shying away, he's not turtling up, he's not looking nervous really. I mean, he's missed a couple of opportunities, but that's just a timing thing, right? So I think Patafan, as he starts to warm up a little bit, I mean, X10, honestly, even though they're down 6-9, we talked about it, right? There are multiple opportunities within the first half where actually the score, it could be lopsided in the completely opposite direction here.
Yeah, while coming into the world stage here for VCT Masters 2 has been a daunting task for X10. They certainly are not a team to sleep on, as we've seen so far. We actually had opportunities to catch up with X10. Let's go ahead.
Rata-rata di sini anjing. Oke, yuk mulai yuk. Mulai iklan tuh mulai nih. Wah, ngentot iklan lagi anjing. Oh, enggak. Ngomong dulu.
I always thought that to be the best in the region, to be the best team, we just have to have the best teamwork. We have a lot of competitive teams back in Southeast Asia, but then they just don't have the opportunity to actually
ngentot, sinyal juga kagak jelas anjing.
Put in like 100% in the game. That's from my opinion. So I would say it's more competitive in other regions such as EU and NA.
แต่คือเราก็ไปทีมเดียวใน C ก็บางทีมันก็รู้สึกกดดันนิดหน่อยว่าเราเป็นแค่ทีมเดียวนะใน C แต่ผมคิดว่าเราจะผ่านไปได้
Our team is really good at is adaptability, because when we play against teams in Southeast Asia, we just need to adapt to how they play as fast as possible.
ขันมันสูงแล้วก็มันมีทีมเก่งเยอะคือแต่ละทีมสามารถขยับขึ้นมาเป็นที่1ได้ตลอดเราเล่น
X10 udah ketemu boom ya. Oh ya, X10 udah ketemu boom.
คือเราโฟกัสในการส่งของแล้วก็เข้าไปชิงจังหวะตะไก
I see a lot of people looking into us and they kind of expect us to lose, I'd say. I just wanted to prove a point that we actually start playing competitively in a really high level. We could actually
bangga sama Asia.
and put up a good fight. They most certainly have here. Welcome back, everyone, to the analyst area. There's no desk in front of me, but we're just so used to saying it in esports, we just own it. Yeah, I mean, you heard from the players there, from X10, right, Tom, that, you know, they take a lot of their inspiration from the Korean players. You saw that in a lot of other games as well. I'm very familiar with the Thai region from my time working in Overwatch, especially for the Overwatch World Cup. And seeing how these players look out to the titans of those regions and tries to emulate, but also tries to add their own flair and style. Kind of like what we're seeing with Patapan here today in this match on Icebox.
Yeah, I think it's also worth noting that it's very important for X10 to perform at an event like this, because otherwise we are going to have the sort of worry that they already have of like, oh yeah, SEA, they'll get a slot, they'll come in and lose. And we don't want that. We want this region to come in, put on a display, upset some amazing good teams, and then
ada Masal tadi udah main sih tadi
berapa ya? Start getting more big teams coming through from that region. Competition growing from that point. Because that's the other thing. Say for example they do decently here, they're going to learn a lot. You're coming up against all the best teams, all the best regions in the world. If they can put themselves in that bracket and then take some stuff home as well, maybe we see SEA rise. Because that's one of the problems. Although you've mentioned there's maybe a few teams that come up, the consistency of the quality a lot of the time is a little bit lower. And I want to see regions like SEA, like Korea in FPS games as well, rise up and start challenging what has been maybe EU and NA-centric game, at least in some other titles.
Yeah, and Doug, you know, I think to Tom's point, right, like, there is a hunger in that region to show up and play at a very high level. But unfortunately, Doug, while I did want you to fill in there, I know that we want to get into the action. So the good news is we are ready to go. We'll come back with the analyst Potter, Doug, and Tom Biz in a moment. It's time to dive right back into the frosty tundra known as Icebox with our casters, Achilleos and Paper Thin.
Oke, mulai caster nih.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. Yes,
habis ini main nih.
About ready to jump back into the action, and
habis ini
I'm
main
excited
nih.
for that. I mean, it's gonna be you know, a little bit. You gotta get the wheels turning here to get back in. But you can hear those game sounds coming up. Some shots getting fired with 20 seconds left on the clock. Seems like we are good to go.
Tadi
tune in a little bit late. It's 9 to 5. First map here in this best of 3 series between X10 and Team of Vikings. X10 looking to come back into this one, try to take the first map.
Yeah, there are a couple of interesting things going on with the buys here right out the gate. You do have the operator for FRZ. Sadak has a Guardian over there, baking up a little bit of money. FRZ gets blinded, has to back on up.
Oh, yeah,
this should be 9 to 6, actually, just thinking about it. So I'll have to, the UI should update after this round. We did have to roll things back.
Hey, you did better with math this time. Good job.
I did. I realized. I was like, wait a second. X10 just won a round, so that should be topped up. So that'll be corrected in just a little bit here, guys. Don't worry. Fox, however, taking quite a bit of damage off the rip. Cruz cannot top him up. Does not have that heal utility here at the moment. Patty gets up on the other side. As the wall does go down. He's waiting around the corner. Gets that shot in the back of the head. Comes up with a second kill, as well as the spike will get planted. Trade back comes through as Patty does fall. Kill secured by GTN. So Degas trying to inch in through the screens. Cruz up top, shuts him down, getting the shot in through the wall. Foxes and Sushi Boys have the
clean langsung naik anjing, langsung comeback X10 bangsat.
X10 taking the round.
Dengan tactical post tadi.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite toxic screens to use on the attacker side.
Oh, yang nggak sesuai sih.
For this map, it cuts off so much vision for the defenders. And poor Potty Pot throwing his head back there. Look at this double from him. I don't like this swing back by Potty Pond there. He kind of exposes himself to the 2 up on rafters, ends up going down. But regardless, it's still an excellent setup here for X10. I mean, once they get so deep in there with that wall up, and you can see those boys are very excited to come back from the technical pause.
X10 masih muda-muda anjing.
Kick us back off.
X10 masih muda-muda banget tuh. Viking udah kayak tua-tua semua banget. Wifi saya mengganggu pak nge-lag. Beli paket, jangan pakai wifi. Beli paket.
Find too much of anything though. Drone over the top, sentry going to be destroyed. For the re-entry here onto the A site yet again. The back of the site, Sadak pulls back, gets himself out towards the spawn.
Dia tengah kill nggak? Oh, dia tengah kill aja.
and GTN both getting taken out of the fight.
Aggressive ya mainnya
HP. The heals are available this time around. You can see Cruz is going to be topping him back up. Gets him at least up to 65. That poison wall will get dropped yet again. Seeker's now going to be coming out from Cruz, looking to locate the remaining members of Vikings. The last three. Tegas going to be the first one to fall, and then quickly follow up on Asadak. FRZ
nggak bisa menang lah, anjing.
members left to kill. Tailwind's over to the side. Cruz going in on the push, tucks himself into the corner, knows that he cannot get wall banged there by the Blade Storm, so feels very confident. He's going to push up, he's going to look for the right click finish, cannot quite find it. Does get that kill, but Scary is ready for the trade. They get the shutdown there, and 10X, they're starting to string these rounds together.
So it's basically the same idea here for X10, but you know, the adjustment is attempted to be made by the Vikings. They have FRZ and Sutekas on the lurk trying to come through, but they get kind of caught in no man's land right around mid, right by the boiler area, where they're just kind of dancing back and forth, trying to figure out which way to go, trying to figure out if we should go through attacker spawn or if we should come back into screens and try and get it done through there. And by the time they show up, it's basically, you know, it is an on-man situation for them. Their team is already in disarray, and they're never really able to get there in time to be effective on that retake.
Really good pace set there. Now looking to change it up as they set their eyes here on the B side. Scary pushing forward. Will get taken down as soon as he uses the Viper's Pit. That is just going to dissipate now. And the entire setup here for X10 on the B side has been undone. Patty, however, getting himself up into kitchen, does manage to catch Saucy off guard. Takes him out. Now has the Blade Storm instantly right click kill in on Asadak. Looking to turn this one back into the favor. The right click follow-up not going to connect, however. So Tegas pushes up through the smoke. Patty with 3. Can they actually turn this around? It's a catastrophic start, but now they're looking to swing this one back into their favor. A 2v2. Spike's still going to be down on the ground. Fox is gone. Patty fighting forward. Needs to get the ace to win the round to keep them pressing forward. Tailwind's over to the side. Here's the shots coming through. Tries to line it up, but just can't quite make it happen. FRZ will get the elimination to save the round for the Vikings. A nail biter there for the side of X10, but they can't get it done.
Oh my God, Patipon doing everything but getting the ace to win this. I mean, he is all over the place on this one. Sadak doing a nice job getting the opener, but here comes Patipon. Sutekas gets kind of backed up here towards Orge. Patipon just picking people off. Sutekas actually pushed through the Cloudburst of Patipon, but Patipon was there on the side, wasn't quite expecting it. Gets the crossfire onto him, just what you wanted out of him. However, it still wasn't enough. That time Viking able to hold on that B push. Now thinking about A again. There's that same wall. This time coming up and over right as it goes down. Sushi Boys, Patipon there to follow up.
Huge instant shutdowns coming through, but Sassy tries to drag this one back. The Hunter's Fury manages to find Fox now. Sushi Boys eliminated. Buddy up top does manage to find Sadak, making this now a 3v1. All on the back of Sutekas.
Tapi kalau misalnya ini menang sih keren sih.
Pressing forward, shot comes in onto Scary, but Patty comes up with a third.
Gara-gara trik sulapnya bangsat.
2 of tying this up. X10, you can feel it. They are reinvigorated. They are ready to plow forward. They want to take this map.
Man, they are looking good. I mean, Patty is absolutely positively online right now. Gets up on the pipes, doing the things that you need to do with those jets on Icebox, using that verticality. Still, the Vikings haven't found an answer for this toxic screen yet, Kilios. They're really struggling with these
kalau misalnya seandainya
they just need to be a little bit safer
extend kalah sih terlalu mereka ikut pakai pistol aja
to stop those aggressive pushes.
Okay, got confirmation. Round had to be replayed given the issues. The count right now that you are seeing is correct, ladies and gentlemen. So this is 10-8. This is round 19, and that is an opening kill onto the enemy Omen. X10 pressing forward now up onto the B side. They get the spot out with that Neural thing.
Melek anjing lagi pas war lagi bangsat. Ya Allah.
After locating every remaining member of the Vikings.
Menang nih, menang.
Have the site secured. Spike still not yet being planted. It's resting in the hands of Sushi Boys here for the moment. Starts inching his way up onto the site, but they still haven't quite yet gone for this. Patty getting that wall bang through onto GTN as he pushes up aggressively, but gets traded back by Saucy, who finds a nice headshot.
Masa kalah sih, Cuk?
Any kills the Vikings can find here are going to be very, very nice. Scary. Gonna pick off Sadak with the wall bang. Cruz coming through here. He's gonna check under the snow pile. He does.
Timing sih tadi.
Fox gonna be traded out, but I mean, it's a 1v3.
Oh.
FRZ, I mean, he would have to kill everybody to
sih.
get the Bladestorm online, so there's just no way that he could have it available to try to pop off
Susah sih anjing kalau mau menang. Freeze harusnya kalau mau menang.
Here.
Ya.
This clutch needs to rely on these sheriff
Bisa sih
shots.
kalau
We've
dia
seen people do it before. Spots out one.
satu-satu lawannya.
Scares around at yellow. Tries to make them think that he's going to go going for the push. Now goes for it. The blind comes in though, perfectly timed by Cruz. Scary with the peek will shut him down. And X10 are within 1 round now of tying this up.
This is amazing. I mean, Patipon is really picking it up. Now he's at even on that kill death. 16 to 16 here, getting up top, doing what he does best, carrying this team. Some great work around here by Scary. Nice setup. Good counter to the smoke there with the guiding light to spot out
Orang mukanya lucu ya.
FRZ at the end. Just really exciting stuff here for X10. And this is their specialty, attack on Icebox. They were absolutely dominant against Team Sets last time they did it. I think they won 8 out of 4 or even 9 out of 3. And you can see why. They are fast, furious, and they really know how to take advantage of those sight lines. Off of those toxic screens, look at this. They're giving them a different look this time. And they're being really patient, though, are the Vikings. I like this adjustment.
Dark cover coming out to block off at green. They take a couple shots, and that's going to be just about the full rotate now coming in from the Vikings. Slow creep up from FRZ, making his way out of A over towards the attacker's spawn. They'll try to get a decent little flank angle. The rest of the squad situated now on B. Drone here from Fox. Going to scout forward, spots the Killjoy shoulder. So shots to start flying. Still not seeing the spike getting planted yet. The paranoia going to be used. They wait that out. They start pushing the corner. They try to get rid of the alarm bomb, but the peak is going to be so very good here for the Vikings. X10 getting ripped to shreds. Fox the last one to fall. Vikings, they stop the onslaught. They stop the momentum.
Ya, aimnya mereka sih keras.
So many rounds in a row, but now they are just
aimnya mereka sih lurus anjing.
Well, that time that guiding light was a bit of a bait there.
Pro player beda bangsat.
X10.
Pro player
they were, ready to push off of it. You can see they waited out, even though it gives the audio cue that it blinded somebody. Didn't blind Sutekas, and he comes around the corner. Him and Saucy pick it up 2 there. And
lurus mereka tuh kayak tadi aim lock ke kepala aja gitu.
Very nicely
pasti
done.
kena kepala aja
The patience from Vikings. I also like the idea by X10 to throw a different look with that toxic screen setup to try for B instead, but doesn't fool the Vikings.
Ini kalau iklan habis ini kan selesai nih iklan, ntar kita main lah 1 match, bisa kita main 1 match bisa. Pada
creative angle to get that dart through. Oh, FRZ falling down to 50 HP. This is going to be X10 fully pulling out of the A site, starting to rotate over to B.
Yeah, you can see that there's only Sutekas over here right now. There's the toxic screen over on the B. Potentially being put up in just a second. Keep that Cypher utility over towards mid to watch what's going on over there. And most of the members... Oh, you do have Patipon over on A, though. He might be able to punish.
Oh, Patipon masih A, cuy.
Forward. FRC still
mati si Gaga sih.
Will manage to find that kill. Sushi Boy's going to get dropped, but now a 3v3. As the spike not yet planted, just waiting this one.
Ini ada
push around the back.
udah mungkin.
Manages to find 2 of them.
Menang extend sih.
And now it's all on FRC. He tries to get the wall bang to the box. That's not where the spike was being planted. Scary gets the finish, and X10, they bounce back yet again. 1 round away from tying this up. This very well could be an OT.
I really love the idea here to keep Patipon over there. It doesn't fool FRZ. He manages to pick it up. All of a sudden, it looked like it might be a good retake for the Vikings, but then Cruz steps out, lines him up, knocks him down. Big moment there for him, and 11-10. My goodness, Achilleos, overtime, I'm feeling it.
Senang banget ya mereka menang ya.
As am I, but both
Belum
these
ketemu
teams
Sentinel nanti lawan Tens mati bangsat.
avoid it at all costs. They don't want to get pushed into
Mereka
those
ikut
extra innings. Shot instantly there though from Putty. A
Gila,
great peek into
Patipan sih
mid.
lagi
Finds the
on
headshot
fire
away
si
just at the
anjing.
moment there as
Gila aimnya Patipan sih lagi.
push. They do manage to find 2 more. Cruz and Fox both falling. Putty trading another
lawan
one back, trying to keep them in this game, keeping things even up at 3-3. But there's so much damage pushed into Sushi Boy, down to 26 HP.
Sushi Boy
Spike carrier for now. They have to figure out where they want to route this spike. Seems like for now it's going to be
Patipan ayo dong. Patipan. Expected patipan dong. Patipan sih.
Peeking out, finds both of them.
Line nun. One line.
Oh my god, he just gets the collapse through on a scary with the headshot.
Ada sih
Incredible.
kemungkinan
Now it's all
menang.
on Potty. He's inching forward. He hasn't checked left to look at yellow. And up
Yeah,
there you
like
go. It's the
belakang
back
aja,
of the
bisa.
skull. 4 kills for the Omen player here on the side of the Vikings. They yet again
Match
win
point.
around. They're just 1 away from
Iya,
closing out Icebox.
Match-
X10 into
match
2
point.
straight if they want to take us into overtime.
Match point.
His spatial senses just kind of left him a little bit there at the end of this. But Sutekas here, again, we saw Cruz last round. Now it's Sutekas' turn. Easy lineup, easy double right there. And I was kind of hoping that X10 would
Yakin kayak
re-rotate
bapak-bapak
back
anjing timnya
towards
Brazil.
A. They had their
Thailand
cyber
X10
utility
timnya
over
anak
there,
muda semua
to kind
ngentot.
of check on if any members of Vikings were lurking out. No one was. They could have made a re-rotate potentially, but they opted to try to push into B.
Abis
and
ini
they
kita
paid the
main.
price.
Slow. Abis ini kita main. Bro,
Now
abis ini kita main,
to
bro.
start.
Saya yang main.
Trying to
Lihat
scout
aim
out.
saya abis ini ya.
Get the word that GTN's playing. On the side of the map, they know that he has that showstopper available. No Hunter's Fury to try to counteract this lockdown as well that will almost certainly be used. That's going to be the Seekers used first. Viper's Pit coming in. How's he going to be eliminated? GTN with a showstopper does manage to find Cruz, however. Turning one back, but Fox pushes forward, manages to find him. Scary going to be taken down. That's the Viper's Pit now dropping the spike. Recovered. Killjoy, the lockdown getting ready to go off as Fox barely makes it out of that radius within time.
Komennya sih
Again,
betah
3v3.
anjing di B.
They're looking to move over towards B. So Tekas is still holding this down.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how they're going to adjust to Sutekas this time. Oh, Potty Pond gets out of there just in the nick of time. And again, Sutekas with that smoke, getting a pretty good sight line, but a little frustrated with his shooting.
Oh,
Oh.
it's a good paranoia
Oh.
plan. However, he still has the lineup. He gets the kill.
Oh,
And that is going to be absolutely
si
huge
anjing.
here for the side of X10 to try to keep the ball rolling. They go for the double peek.
Gila,
Sushi
si
Boys
Patipan
comes up with
sih
a headshot.
on fire,
Just like that,
anjing.
it's all on FRZ. Needs to clean up 3 to clutch this round to win Icebox.
All right, let's see
Lots
if
of
he
trap
can
wire.
do it.
Ini harusnya map untuk ini sih.
That slows
Yep,
them up. It
nicely
gives his
done.
position away.
Semoga overtime yuk biar agak seru gitu loh.
I don't
See, they're
think this is gonna
covering
be,
all angles here.
yeah,
Telat
too
Mansen
surprising
ya.
at all.
Kita ngintip
What's
Mansen.
going on with this? You can see Sushi Boy's gonna push up, and he's not gonna be able to do it. FRZ
Oh,
gets one,
enggak,
2 more to go.
A little bit of damage into him. Oh man,
Nggak bisa
the
menang,
reload,
anjing.
the timing is there. Fox goes on the peak, gets the shutdown and to keep their hopes alive. Their heads above the water. X10, one more round to go. Do we finally see an overtime? Timing is there. Fox
I think we
goes on
will.
the
I
peak,
really
gets
like the
shutdown to
adjustment
keep
here.
their
by
Duitnya nggak
hopes
banyak
X10.
alive.
harusnya.
Their heads
Things
above
kind
Tapi
of
Sobat
fell
jangan
apart
drop.
on A. You
X10
lose the
Pull armor,
Viper's
Sobat.
Pit, and
Round to
immediately
go.
they
Do
back
we
off,
finally see
head
an
over to
overtime?
B, which is way
Ada
more
Sobat
open.
satu
orang
pulang.
yang lubang.
Sutekas kind of
Kurang bisa full
uncharacteristically misses the lineup. Kind of fell apart
Phantom
on
atau
A. You
Vandal
lose the
sama full
Viper's
armor.
Pit,
Kayak
and
nggak.
immediately
Kayak
you
satu
can
orang
see
deh.
he kind of shot into the yellow. He was frustrated. Sutekas, I
Kamu
don't know
mendingan
that
beli
really cost
senjata
him
murah
that much
full
to get
armor
lineup on,
apa
but underneath is
armor
what it is.
tengah
Smoke,
senjata
and just
bagus?
really isn't
Oh,
A, and you
Bladestorm
can
off
see
the
he
bat
kind of
here.
shot into the yellow. He
Buddy.
was frustrated.
As this ready, the
Nah.
Neural Theft also online. Tries to go for the
Pakitan sih.
shot, doesn't manage to get the hits. Redraws out with the Bulldog. Currently just sitting here above on 2.
Patikan.
Tekas starting to push forward. The
Right.
Neural Theft going to be coming in from Sushi Boys, but this great angle. They're prepped for it. They shut down the Omen. The drop down coming through. Fox is trying to get the push,
Nggak
but
kena.
it's not before Potty gets taken
Iya,
out.
dua.
So Tekas manages to find that crucial kill. Now he's looking through window. Spots one. Goes
Oh,
for the
cepat
weapon
sih
swap,
tangannya sih.
drawing it.
Oh. Ayo. Bisa nih, harusnya bisa nih. Sopanya saya sih bisa menang sih kalau ini. Welcome. Menang sih. Gak
Out with
agak
the Bulldog.
relapse
Scary
sih.
moving up. Manages to find one. It's going to be a 1v2 to try to make this happen.
Reload dulu kali ya.
Fox all on his lonesome. The dart coming through has to take that down. The spike drop.
Ah,
They
agak.
line up for him, but he
Gigi.
cannot get the shot to come
Gigi.
in. FRC gets the last kill.
Ah, tuh. Udah GG anjing. GG. GG.
The map 13 to 11. Damn close, but X10 they can't
Yeah.
quite push us into that OT. Team Vikings will take map 1 of this best of 3.
Ntar abis ini kita main ya.
I mean,
Kita lihat ini.
that was a crazy one.
Kita main dah. Ntar kita nonton lagi. Kita main dulu. Kita main dulu. Valorant kita main sekarang anjing. Biar saya yang main sekarang bangsat. Kasih tunjuk jagonya skill saya. Subsios. Sabar. Auto. What's the heck? Ininya. Auto. What's passwordnya? Sabar. Tuh pintar. Ceret. Apa nggak pandai? 235. Oh, before you go, 'cause sabar ya. Nih kalau silat nih. Nih nomor nih. Masih lagi loading ya. Nih silat nih. Silat nih loading. Sabar. Pasti itu sabar. Angkat lihat aja jadi memang. Sabar. Mau agak lihat dah. Mau aja nggak nge-lag sih anjing kalau nge-lag biasanya. Two, three lama ngentot. Mulai enak. Sudah mulai guys ya. Kita main Unrated. Sekali kita main. Sabar biar gak nge-lag bangsat.
Match found.
Untuk pusat kemas anjing. Streamer anjing. Agak nyari uang ya. Apa nih susah ambil ke mana? I am the beginning. Komen loh. Kayak nge-cheat anjing. Bangsat main kayak nge-cheat anjay. Anjing banget, anjing banget. Let's go fix. Oh, ini lagi. HP ku anjing. Ini lagi bangsat, HP ku rusak, guys.
Match found.
Ini anjing. Ada ya. GG. Rusak kali pelihara. Sofa, oke aku sofanya.
Wherever they run, I will find them.
Aku sofa. Ini kan main gitu loh, kita main ya. Cheer.
This bow has taken men and beast alike. I found that there's little difference.
FPS dapat lu parah sih anjing, dapat. Ping lumayan FPS ya, drop DPS.
Reload. Scanning ahead.
Reloading. Enemy spotted B. Battle out.
There they are.
Reloading.
Paling kenanya FPS drop
Spike
bangsat.
down B. Last player standing.
Eagle-eyed.
One enemy remaining.
You forget.
Gila,
I always play high stakes.
Your web is deadly, Cypher.
Nge-lag saudara-saudara. Nge-lag kita menang ya guys ya. Nge-lag.
Let's blind their scouts. Revealing area.
Enemy spotted.
Found them. Shot that. Foolish.
Wah, cheaternya nggak beres anjir.
Oh.
Oh, snipernya nggak beres banget. Bener, kesini dapat FPS macam gini lagi.
Spike down
Ya,
B.
udah ini nonton nggak ada tapi Gininya, guys.
Enemy remaining.
Nggak ada tapi.
That's how we do it.
Ya. Menang sih, langsung menang.
Spikes here.
Let's start this party.
3, 2.
Scanning ahead. There they are.
Healing you.
Tapi sudah.
Reloading.
Shock dart.
One enemy remaining.
Enemy spotted.
Spike down mid.
No more to oppose. Revealing area. They're losing cards.
Ini dong. Reaper nih.
Gone here.
Need a drop.
Buset, baik benar.
Bro,
Gua report lu ya. Gak bisa gua ngomong party. Gua gak party sama lu siapa ya? Terkenal. Report anjing. Ajab gua udah gua duluan guys.
Your duty is not over.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wah,
Reloading. Spike down B.
aku nggak sih. Kena emang.
I have received.
Boleh kena tuh.
Fire in the hole.
Cameras is out.
Kayaknya kena anjing.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
They were not good enough.
Remember, wipe the pins from your guns. It's just
Get a drop.
Coba. Halo.
Can someone get this?
Bisa lihat. Itu. Nah. Bailey.
Thank you.
Oke.
Make them dance.
Our spike carrier is dead.
Spike down B. Last player standing.
Give me a moment.
Malah tadi ngomong kalau udah kemarin itu.
Together.
Revealing area.
Enemy spotted.
Nowhere to run!
Spike down Mid. Last player standing.
Ah.